Welcome back to America's Rallycross. We are live for qualifying 2 here, and as you can see behind me, I'm standing on the pre-grid here. We can see some of the drivers around here for ARX 2. Let's go see if we can talk to one for a second here. Here's Connor Martell. Let's go see what Connor's up to over here. Connor, what's the track looking like out there? It looks like it's changing a bit from qualifying session to qualifying session.
Yeah, it was really slippery in practice, and then it rained, so then it got even more slippery. So it's really hard. You know, I think everyone's kind of on a different setup right now. No one knows how the track is going to be. So we're kind of just hoping for the best. That first queue was a little rough. Everyone was kind of everywhere. The second group went way faster. So I think the track is finally kind of coming in and drying out. So hopefully it will not rain again.
Yeah, and the car's feeling good. You got a setup that you like that you're going to stick with for the rest of the time here this weekend?
Yes and no. We have a base setup, but we were playing around with bars right now because in that last heat we had a little bit of understeer. So we're trying to get that under control, and once that happens, I think we'll be all set.
Great. Well, it's fun to watch you out here. Let's see if we can find anyone else while we're down here. It looks like to my left here with Fraser McConnell. Let's go get a word with Fraser and see how he's doing in the car here. Fraser, new suit, new car, everything. How's it feeling out there?
Good. Turkish guys did a great job of getting me this wicked suit. It matches the car color scheme pretty well. But yeah, right now we're just focusing on Q2. We had a frustrating Q1, and yeah, I'm gonna go out there and give it my best.
Awesome, and you got a setup that you think works. I was just talking to Connor about the track conditions out there and how they're changing from each qualifying session, you know, based on the weather, but also based on maybe just track wear in.
Yeah, no, it's still drying up from the rain in free practice that we had, but see the water trucks out there right now, so it's gonna be a little difference in track conditions with my group and the next one. So I'm gonna have to really give it my all and make sure it's enough to seal off the group behind me.
Great, well, we'll all be watching. Thank you. And we're gonna go back up to Andrew and Bucky in the commentators booth.
Bucky, they're watering the track. I mean, we've just looked out, it was bone dry, and now there's a couple of puddles again. I don't know if it's really dusty enough to be watering it too much. They've got to do it during the course of the day a bit, though. And yeah, this is that thing where bad draw, then a bad Q1, you can end up on the back foot all weekend. We had it at Gateway, didn't we, where the people in the second race.
Never get up.
Nah.
Never get up to speed because, yeah, the guys in the first heat, they have this wet track they got to deal with, and then it grooves in for heat 2, and then everyone's faster in heat 2, so heat 1 never gets out of that.
So Frauser's got a bit of a job to do here. Absolute worst case scenario, I guess he wants to be on the front row in one of the semis. And anything worse than that is not ideal.
No. You saw how hard it is to do anything from the outside in these RX2 cars. You want to get on the inside. You want to protect the inside the entire time. And the only way you're going to get really past at this track is really getting nudged out of the way.
So, yeah, we saw that a couple of times last year. I think it was Ken Block, wasn't it, and Scott Speed got into each other a couple of times in the hairpin, and we've seen that again here. There's ways of doing it. Pico got that 5-second penalty from Q1. You know, if you're a little bit subtle about it, I reckon you could probably get away with it. If you missed Q1, we've got to look back at the action for you.
Here, Picoy from the outside, he decides to go inside. I'm not sure he had word from the spotter, but he took it on his own and hit every Subaru on the way in turn 1.
He did indeed, but here's the contact. Look, this was the one that he actually got the penalty for in the end. He got a 5-second penalty for that, Bucky. And as we said during the commentary, maybe if he hadn't hit them all on the run to turn 1, they might have gone fair enough. He's trying hard, but I think when you've been that aggressive off the start, and it was funny, he goes, yeah, I've bent the car, but I don't think I deserve a penalty. If you bend the car, what do you think?
Yeah, I think if you're bending the car and you're deserving of, I mean, if you get a panel, yeah, but car, I mean, that's big.
It's borderline.
He didn't say panel, he said car.
He did say car. I'll tell you what, he was sending it over the jump, and all credit to Picoy. He is very, very quick this year, and that car's fantastic. Great job by Lernbro Racing to get the Focus RX running gear underneath the Fiesta chassis. Of course, Ken Block last drove that particular car. He used it at Nitro Games in the summer, and he absolutely loved it. So we know the car is very good. Arpin didn't get a good start. That opened the door for Faust to be able to move across, but Faust had got the most perfect start potentially of the season there, Bucky, and he needed it.
10-man off the line like a rocket ship right there.
From the outside line, you know, bad draw. We know we've seen what's happened to Fraz. Bad draw, outside, doesn't get the whole shot. He's in the first race. Tanner there has basically undone the bad draw with one good start, straight to the whole shot, and now he's going to be on pole in race 2. So he's going to get the best of the track conditions. Job done by him, and as we say, he's effectively the championship front runner now with Scott out.
Technically, yes.
Here are the standings at the end of Q1. coming into Q2. Tanner Faust having won that first session at the top, Sandel, Arpin and Cabot Bigham. And in fact, it was all 4 of those drivers who were in the second race who went quicker than the drivers who were in that first one. So Backerud, Weeman, Atkinson had finished behind Peacoy, but Peacoy was given a 5-second penalty. So that was how they stood at the end of Q1 for Supercar. Of course, we're running Supercar after ARX2, so stay with us. Cars are in the grid, ready for the first race of Q2. We've got bright sunshine at the circuit now. It's really very strange weather here today. It's really blustery, windy conditions. The clouds are moving across pretty quickly now. We're not surrounded by much in the way of grey, but the forecast is for potentially for thunderstorms late this afternoon, which wouldn't be ideal. Here we go then. Here's the lineup for race 1. Gray Ledbetter on the inside from Fraser McConnell, Michael Leach and Lane Vakela. So I think it's fair to say that McConnell is the pace guy on this grid, but he's got to get a good start and get into turn 1 ideally first. If he goes joker on lap 1, Bucky, he drops himself back into traffic. So really he needs a whole shot and shut the door on Gray, but that's not going to be a given.
It's not going to be a given, but as we've seen in the past, Fraser does have some of the best starts in the RX2 cars. Him and Connor usually walk away off the line.
Here we go then. An
There it
amazing
is.
start straight away, but Gray's got away as well. Gonna squeeze Gray Ledbetter on the run for turn 1. He's got it done. That's exactly what Fraser McConnell needs to do. Now he's got to keep this super clean and tidy. He just needs to beat Bucky 1 car from the other race to get himself up into the second race, which is where he wants to be for track conditions. I mean, it'll probably rain then and it won't make any difference, but that's what he needs.
Yeah, he's just got to put down some hammer laps here. But he is driving the course for the first time this lap after the water truck. So let's watch him through this section here.
Yeah, this is where we can see the puddles from the commentary position, just at the end of this section of gravel where Fraz is trying. I have to say, it doesn't look too bad, maybe a tiny bit on the brakes, but Fraz is a class act. The next race, though, has got Martel, Keys, Keats, Karaman, DeBerti. We can beat any one of those in this session. That'll see him into the faster race next time. 9 ARX2 cars here this weekend.
McConnell's in the 37s, while the rest are in the 39, 41s.
Yeah, so he's right there. I think it was 37s, which was pretty much pace setting, wasn't it, in the previous session? I could probably find the results. Where are they? Here they are. Yeah, DeBerti was doing 37.5s. 37.5s for Karam. So yeah, it was 37.5. So he's not far off, is he, with 37? And that's 2 37.8s as well, Bucky. This is a good, consistent, fast drive.
Very consistent.
Lane Vakela went joker early. Leach, Ledbetter and McConnell still have to go. Fraz, having got the whole shot, won't joke until the last lap. Doesn't want to drop back out into traffic.
These cars are so loud, they're overpowering my comms.
They are loud. So if RX2 and ARX2 are almost identical in terms of spec, but out here in America, the ARX2 cars are not as silent as the RX2 cars. I have to be honest, I prefer the RX2 cars. They're so loud, aren't they? And there's loud, and then there's loud.
Huh?
Yeah, what? They're pretty angry, pretty angry. So Fraser McConnell continues to lead, runs himself all the way out to the outside of the tarmac. Gonna come in towards the finish line, see where he stops the clock. I'll see the previous session. Brad DeBerti did a 2:41.4, and Fraz has just done a 2:39.3. So he's just absolutely destroyed the fastest time from Q1, but it does depend, the whole track could be a bit quicker, Bucky.
Correct. We'll have to wait and see. It's coming up here shortly. The weather, it's a good thing I'm not a weatherman, I tell you that.
Didn't get that right, did we, mate?
It is sunny, and the racing is happening.
It is indeed. There's the results. McConnell takes it from Gray Ledbetter, Michael Leach and Lane Vakela. 10 seconds separating the winner from Vakela there at the back of the pack. Vakela, of course, was in France a few weeks back with the World Rallycross Championship, taking part in RX2, so he's continuing to learn and looking to expand what he does in Rallycross. This was the start, and great job by McConnell, just got it done.
He hammered it off the line. It looks like Ledbetter had a little bit of an issue there with a shift. Little things like that, Fraze will just walk away from you because he is so, he has a lot of hours in this car.
We said, didn't we, that we felt he'd very much become a professional driver this year. He's just taken those steps to become that bit more focused. You know, they say, right, Fraz, you've got to get a job done, go out and do it, and he just goes out and does it.
Yeah, that is someone that if I'm running a team and I'm looking for drivers, I want the man that can get the job done.
Exactly.
And Fraze, it's like he's so like steady in his head. His head is strong, and he's got the skills. He's a rally driver.
He's got a 21-point lead as well in the standings. Now remember, there are 90 points up for grabs. So I was talking to Fraz yesterday, and we were kind of saying that one of the things he has to do this weekend is not take any risks. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter if he doesn't win here. They can't close the points down on him very quickly because everybody's going to make it through to the semis. So you can't have that disastrous run where you don't make it. So he's just got to be sensible, and he can tie the championship up. Not here. He'll have to wait until the next event to tie it up. But you want to leave here with a solid lead.
Yeah, and that he's doing. And the Dirtfish crew have done a great job with his car. You don't want any issues, and it's looking good over there.
Well, James is down with Fraser McConnell now. Let's go and hear from Fraz.
Fraz, I know that a lot of this weekend is about preserving your championship lead and carrying that through to Mid-Ohio next weekend. What have you done today, just like you just did out there? Tell us a little bit about what the strategy is.
Yeah, I know we tried our best to bounce back from a frustrating Q1. I gave it all I could from the start to finish line. And yeah, no, the Dirtfish guys and the OMAC guys gave me the best car they could, and I gave them the best drive I could. So hopefully it's enough to beat the guys behind me. The track was a little wet when I started. But yeah, I'm just going in for the win this weekend, and yeah.
Hey, Fraz, we're excited to see you. Good luck the rest of the day.
Fraser McConnell doing exactly what we said he'd done. They told me to go and do a job, and I went and got it done. Here's a grid for race 2, Q2, ARX2 from Kota. Brad DeBerti, Sage Karam, Cole Keats, Alex Keys, and Connor Martell. DeBerti winning the session. Good drive by him, and they were quicker than that first run, but I think McConnell has just laid down a time there which is very impressive. And as me and Bucky were saying, he only needs to beat one of these guys to make sure he's in the second race. In theory, the second race is faster because the track is drying, but we do have mixed weather for today. And when we say drying, they're wetting the track in between sessions to keep the dust down. So all sorts of tactics coming into Rallycross as usual. Here we go. DeBerti on the inside, Sage Karam. Sage Karam gets another bad start, so DeBerti's going to get the whole shot. Cole Keats going to go with him. Sage Karam goes straight to the joker lap, and Connor Martell's gone. Martell gets the undercut, and Sage Karam tidily done. Karam will be annoyed about that. Going to see Martell coming up the inside. So Connor Martell, that was a great move, Bucky.
Yeah, and there was some action in front of Connor there that slowed those fellas down in front of him, so he's going to be happy about that.
Yeah, Connor's straight onto the back of the two cars in front. Look, he's right up with Alex Keys already, and those two at the back of Joker. So this is advantage to Bertie, but it's going to depend whether or not he can get the lap times in to try and match Fraser McConnell.
Now, right now, Martell is thinking, please, one of you guys peel off out of my way, because I've got Sage behind me.
And they send Keys. That's perfect for Martell. So Martell gets released. Keys actually goes a little bit deep on the joker, I think. So Martell takes that position. Keys slots back into 5. And Martell now right up behind Cole Keats. So he needs Keats to go on the next one. But Keats doesn't have to, of course.
No, he doesn't. He can hold him back.
Oh, up the inside. Martell loses out to Sage Karam. Sage Karam just sticks it in there. Good pass. Great pass. So tactical driving from these two. Connor Martell now looking for an inside line as they come back through onto the dirt section. It's going to cost them both a little bit of time. But Sage Karam with a brilliant pass, and Martell back up the inside of Karam. This is unbelievable. These two have passed each other 3 times. What a great race.
It's going to hurt him in the times, but man, do I love to watch it.
Absolutely fantastic. So Martel got Karam got him back, Martel's got him back again. They're not leaving big gaps, and these guys somehow, who says you can't pass at Kota?
No, and there's a happy little Jamaican.
Get back.
There's a happy little Jamaican watching this race too.
Karam's just got back up the inside of Martel, so that's 4 passes between these two. Karam, I don't think will let the car run wide this time. So watch for Sage Karam in turn 1 as we go on to the last lap. Martel stuck up the inside, he's going to try again, and he gets him again. 5 times, this is crazy.
That just goes to show you 2 different driving styles.
Oh, now Keats up the inside into the side of Martel. Martel's going to run wide. Sage Karam going to get a chance to get past number 6 in. He's on the inside on the run down, and Sage Karam has got back through again. That is the most passing we've seen between 2 drivers, and he gives him a little nudge.
I think Martel might have broke his car on that one, possibly. He hit him pretty good in the wheel.
God, these two are getting right into it. Karam, of course, got right into it when he was at Mid-Ohio, and he gets hard into the back of Conor Martel. So this is now turning a bit grudge match. DeBerti takes it at the front from Cole Keats, but that is the best bit of racing I've seen all season in ARX2 or RX2. That was great. Martel and Sage Karam putting on an absolute show. They really were. DeBerti, though, unable to match the time of Fraser McConnell. McConnell has won Q2, got the job done emphatically. 2 Dirtfish cars winning a race each. Who's under investigation? 4 and 53, so that's Keys and Cole Keats. That was what Bucky saw on lap 1. So they're under investigation. I wonder, I reckon there might be a cheeky little look. Okay, so Martel... Yeah, Martel and Sage Karam contact under investigation. That might be Karam, I think, running hard up the back of him on that last lap. But let's see. Brilliant, brilliant race. DeBerti takes the win from Keats, Martel, Sage Karam, and Alex Keys. But Martel and Karam swapping places. I think it was 6 times in the end. I lost count. We're going to need to make a little edit of that. But Fraser McConnell takes it 1.7 seconds faster than Brad DeBerti. He's really got it done, and Fraser McConnell wins Q2. So this was midway through the first lap, was it? I think this was this was some of the passes, Bucky. I mean, that was great
inside
driving.
Here, Sage, and then at that point, Martel's like, yeah, that's not happening again. And then he goes on the inside back, passes back. And they just had a passing, like, frenzy in the same spot. Yeah, just
it was
a spree.
Brilliant.
Like,
there we go, look. So he comes back up the inside of him again. Martel, of course, had already got him on the first lap on the Joker with a different line. And then he does the same again here. You look at that, nah, he won't get through there. It's like he's done it. Sage Karam's just run himself a little bit deep. He gets back past. But then watch now, because now it all goes a bit wrong. So I think it was Keats who comes around the outside. The second of the cars coming off the Joker. Here he is. Cole Keats comes in. There's not a lot of contact there. That's the bodywork moves quite a lot on these cars. It makes it look like the contact's worse than it is. Martel's in the loose by then. Sage Karam gets back past. Then he gets back past him at the hairpin, and now Karam turns in with more speed and gets in the back. And I think that's what is maybe under investigation. But for me, it doesn't matter. Martel beat him, you know, but we'll see what the stewards say.
Brad, what a way to return to ARX after missing the Canadian round. I mean, you just went out there and that was just surgical precision.
Yeah, honestly, again, you know, we came out the first qualifying and won, and the car was incredible. We came back, we had a bent front right arm, and we had a broken shock actually in the rear. And so, you know, I just got to really give it up again for the Dirtfish crew. Literally, they got me out there. This car, I mean, it's insane how fast it is right now, and just got to give it up for them. But I am just so blessed and thankful to be back in this car. You know, for me, I don't have a lot of money to race, and so when Dirtfish gave me this opportunity, it's honestly pretty awesome.
Awesome. Well, it's great to see you back out here. We love seeing you racing. Good luck the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Well, we're glad to have Brad DeBerti back, and he's put on a decent show so far. At the minute, it's Brad DeBerti who's at the top of the table. And I'll tell you what, if he does another good run in Q3, and remember there's only 3 qualifying sessions because it's a one-day event, DeBerti could take his first ever TQ here. Fraser McConnell second place, and it's Keats, Karam, Martel, Keys, Ledbetter and Leach. But a brilliant drive as well by Fraser McConnell. He had a job to do. You know, he was P7 in that first session. He wins Q2, and that sees him move right back up the standings into second place.
Yeah, and I am backing it 100% because that kid deserves it. Fraze did what he did. The birdie, amazing drive. What do you think about the racing so far today?
I think the racing's been awesome. I'm just looking at a wall that's blowing down behind you, Bucky, because it's
long
so
as it doesn't hit
windy.
me.
Have a look behind you. It's going the other way. It's like a race control's just over here. There's a wall that's just blown into race control. It is so windy. The notes are blowing around. You see the flags in the background. It's the paddock right underneath us here. I know it's very bright out there, so it's hard for you guys to see it, but Subaru's literally right behind us. And talking to Subaru, of course, the supercars are up next. So we've got so much wind up here that I'm slightly concerned about our monitors actually blowing over. They're on like 6 foot stands. We've got quite big screens here. So, well, I tell you what, we'll just look out the window. If that happens, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Right, here we go then. Time for Q2 for ARX Supercar Round 5. Andreas Backerud on pole, Jonny Weeman next to him. Then it's Chris Atkinson and Travis Pecoy. Pecoy was given that 5-second penalty from Q1, and that was for contact with all three of these guys, Bucky.
Yeah, that was some contact.
It was
there.
a good effort, wasn't it?
Bent the car, he said.
Yeah, he said he bent the car, didn't feel it was worth a penalty, and well, the stewards disagreed. So the stewards gave him a 5-second penalty. Unfortunately, that dropped him from what would have been like a P5 result to a P8 result. So he's on the outside. That's where he started from last time. Let's see if he's as aggressive this time. You can hear the turbo wastegate chirping away. Now we get the launch of Pecoy's got another blinding start. Going to try and go into turn one. Weeman's on his inside, a little bit of contact. Backerud up the inside of Pecoy. Can he get past Weeman as well? Backerud stops past Pecoy. Pecoy's going to drop to third. So Andreas Backerud holding that inside line. Pecoy's being very aggressive again, Bucky.
You can't turn in if there's a car there.
No, and this is played into Atco's hands, and he's hit Atco too. So, okay, well, I don't know that you would have known Atco was there, to be fair. But Pecoy is having a big push here, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not racing with very good etiquette, so I think he's leaving it up to the stewards this week.
You can see a lot of dust on that turning in point at the back straight there, Bucky, and that's actually from the hairpin where they ran wide. The track isn't that dusty, is it? But where they had that contact, they've got out into the berm around the outside, and we see Pecoy goes Joker. That's going to get him out of trouble, give himself a bit of clear space, and the Atkinson, for me, is the man who's in the best position here. Joe could already look, he was 2.4 off Weeman, but I think he's closer than that now. Our two Subaru newcomers, Jonny Weeman and Andreas Backerud, out front in this one. They weren't able to match the times of Tanner Faust & Co. in the second race last time. And they'll be hoping that this time they can do a better job of that.
These two are new over here, but they're not rookies by any chance. They probably have more time in supercars than anyone else in the field.
Certainly Backerud does. Backerud's one of only 3 drivers who's done every single World Rallycross Championship event ever held. So I think he's at 71, I think. I can't, along with, who's it? Timmy Hansen and Timur Timosyanov. They're the only other 2 now that have done them all. Oh, and he runs wide. Weeman runs wide. Backerud gets up the inside. So Andreas Backerud passes Jonny Weeman. This time the dust isn't so bad. And that's going to give Backerud a bit of clear space in front, both in terms of his vision, but in terms of getting the lap times in too. So does Backerud have more pace than Weeman? Now he's got past him, we're going to find out. Backerud goes Joker. This then against Atkinson. 2 seconds in, he runs a bit deep. He's going to straighten the car up. Can he get up the inside of Chris Atkinson on the brakes? He can. Backerud gets past him, Weeman doesn't. So great job by Subaru to be 1, 2, 3. Backerud holds off on the throttle in the hairpin there, doesn't run wide. Pecoy going to make a pass on Weeman as he tried. Couldn't quite get enough drive into the hairpin. Looks like he might nudge the tyre wall on the exit. Somehow he's got away with it. So Andreas Backerud, who managed to get past Weeman after Weeman made a mistake. He looked like he'd gone wide in the Joker, but he hasn't. And this time Backerud going to take the win. There it is. 232.7 though. And I'm pretty sure that Tanner was on a 228.8. So 232.7 is actually slower than Backerud went in Q1.
Track conditions?
I don't know. I mean, obviously,
I see blue
they
groove.
got a bit tangled up. Yeah, I can see blue groove. The dust was pretty bad, wasn't it? And there was all that contact on the first lap. So I think some of it can be attributed.
I think it was the racing. I think it was the racing. It took the times away.
As a result of Q2 race 1, Backerud wins from Atkinson and Weeman. A Subaru 1, 2, 3. Pecoy gets 4th. A little aggressive again in that one, but I think less so. And with him down in 4th place anyway, pretty sure the stewards won't look at that. So it was less than it was in the first one. It was less intentional to me. It was more racing incident, less intentional. Here's another look at it. So, you know, here he's side by side with Weeman. Okay, you know, 6 of one, half dozen the other there. But then here, for me, he's quite aggressive maybe with Backerud there. Backerud just actually turned out a little bit there and put him in the marbles, and that's
he kind of had to kind of fight from being pushed into the wall there by Pecoy.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair enough. I think that's fair enough. So Pecoy then went Joker. This was the dust from where they'd all run wide on the previous lap, and that making the vision very hard. At this point, Weeman leading from Backerud. And then Weeman, did he get too late on the brakes here? Yeah, he did.
He slid, he lost it under braking.
Backerud gave him a fair nudge on the way through, but again, good driving from Andreas Backerud to take that lead. Here, I thought he was too wide as well, but look at the way he straightens up the exit, Bucky.
Yes, he got a good run out of there. Tucked it in under Atkinson.
And also then, I guess the car is settled, which means you can brake straight and late.
Oh yeah, if the car is settled, you can brake nice and straight.
Tidily done by Andreas Backerud. He takes the win.
Andreas, great drive out there. Back to what you're usually used to doing, which is winning. How did it feel? What's the track conditions looking like?
Track conditions going faster and faster every lap, unfortunately, but having some fun. I mean, the Subaru is really fast. I tried some bits in the start there and obviously went too low and bugged it a little bit. Then Weeman spun loose in turn 4, and I basically braked at his point just a little bit earlier, and I also overshoot the corner. I rotated the car with the handbrake and bam, right to his side. I'm sorry, Johnny, but you kind of gave it to me. So yeah, after that we had a good pace. I think I got on the radio that the speed was fine, and exiting the Joker, I knew Chris was somewhere, but I didn't know where. No, I had fun. It's great to be here in Austin. I love the snacks over here. Good food, tacos, every morning actually, so having lots of fun.
Snackeroo, am I right? Yeah. Good luck the rest of the day, Andreas.
His reputation precedes him. Yeah. I love the snacks.
If he likes snacks, he's in the right.
Yeah,
he's in the right car because Subaru has some good food.
Yeah, they do.
Over there.
Well, he's in the right town too, isn't he? Like you go down Rainy Street and it's just basically bars and then amazing snack wagons in between. We went to one last night where there's a pizza place in the back garden of the pub. I mean, it's outrageous. You're going to have a pizza.
I love Austin.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great city. It's a great city. Good to see Backerud smiling as well. Said he tried something with the start. I was talking to Bill Stokes yesterday, the boss of Subaru Motorsport USA, and he was saying their start procedure is quite complicated. They changed it over the winter thanks to some feedback from Scott, of course, who'd come from Volkswagen, Scott Speed. So interesting stuff. Backerud playing around with the RPM and didn't quite get it right that time. Here we go, Q2 race 2. On the inside, Tanner Faust, who got that incredible start last time out. Then it's Patrick Sandell, Steve Arpin and Cabot Bigham. So the two Volkswagens in this one again on either side of the grid, and I think if they're sensible here, they'll already have split the strategy. Do you know what, there's a bit to me that says here that if you win the start from the inside, you could go straight to the Joker in terms of strategy and push you could push everyone wide. So anyone who goes Joker with you, you're ahead of.
You're a dirty man.
I know. I'm just thinking. Bucky. Sandell a bit sideways, gets on the side of Faust almost. Arpin just shuts the door, changes his mind and goes out to the Joker. So Steve got a decent start, but runs a bit wide. Sandell trying to find a way past Faust, but Faust holds on after a bit of contact. Saw him on 2 wheels.
Yeah, I think Arpin wanted to go somewhere, and he just didn't have the space to get in there and drove up over Tanner. Luckily, no one's hurt.
Front right corner of Arpin's car is a few bits hanging off. I'm not sure. I think it looks okay. I don't know if it's a puncture or not, but there's a bit of movement on the front right corner of Steve Arpin's car, which of course was where he hit Faust, and Sandell up the inside with a brilliant pass. Faust was 2 sideways in that corner.
That was a crazy spot to pass someone.
Fantastic. So Arpin from the commentary position, it just looks like it's wheel arch liner, so not too many problems there. 1.6 at the minute. Sandell really needs to try and edge him, and Faust is into the side of Sandell. They go sideways. This is playing into the hands of the guys behind Bucky. For me at the minute, 1.6, 1.5. The gap's come down again. Faust pushes Sandell wide. Sandell's on the gas. Faust is up the inside.
Faust has got the inside line here.
Whoa, you can hear the crowd up in the grandstands. We've actually got a decent crowd here today watching. Faust going to pass back in exactly the same place as Sandell. Backs out just in time. The wall loomed large, and Faust thought better of it. Oh, goes Joker. Going to lose out here.
Oh, no. What's going to happen?
Going to drop to P4. Tanner Faust drops back behind his teammate Cabot Bigham, who's jokered already. And so Sandell and Faust here, while the racing was great, the lap times were not.
And look at Arpin up here in second place, but he has taken the Joker.
Yeah, Arpin's going to take this because Sandell is only 1 second in front. So Sandell's going to have the Joker on this last lap, and we reckon it was 1.8 as we see Faust got the inside of Bigham, unless that was a team move.
I think that was a team order there because there was no fight.
No, and fair enough, you know, they're fighting for a championship. They want Tanner to get the best possible chance of being right at the sharp end of the grid. And Faust isn't going to get past Sandell, so Sandell holds on to P2, but Arpin does get the lead. Only a second in it, and he's only come out a car length in front. Oh, is that a problem for Sandell? Sandell was on the go slow in the dirt.
He's broke front left. No?
Oh, it looked like it, didn't it? He just had a ton of understeer. So Patrick Sandell was on a real go slow coming out of the hairpin. And he's sideways again here, so I wonder if Sandell's...
He's a little too sideways than normal.
I think he's got a problem. So a problem for Patrick Sandell, no such problems for Arpin. He takes the flag from Faust. Sandell drops to the back, and there were bits flying out of the rear of the Subaru as he crossed the start-finish line. So some great racing, not so much on the lap times. 2:30.8, though, is enough for Arpin to win the session. So Arpin wins Q2. And he won't be expecting that, I think.
Well, with the pace that I've seen, I expected it.
Yeah, the car's been great, hasn't it? You know, but there's, I suppose Steve wasn't in the mix, was it? In terms of he wasn't in that fight. So 2:30.8 for Arpin. Faust for the 2:33, then Bigham and Sandell. This is where they slot in. Arpin goes to the top look, winning the session by nearly 2 seconds. Faust slots in fourth. Bigham gave up his spot there, and look at the difference, 2:33.7 down to 2:34.9. There was only 1.2 in it, and that's given Faust 3 places. If that was a team order, smart move by Andretti Rallycross.
Yeah, and that would have been a call made at the spotter stand with the spotters talking to each other.
2:30.8, we see, yeah, so Arpin was a 10th faster than he went in Q1. That was only good enough for third in Q1, but I'll tell you what, thinking about it, Arpin might go to the top of the table with that result. So there's another look back at the start of this one. This was the contact, and Arpin was a bit keen to get in, but nothing untoward, I think.
Which was really, it's crazy to see because he actually went into the Joker behind Cabot, but came out in front, and I missed that somewhere.
We're looking, I'm just looking at our timing screen. So ARX 2, Q2 race 2, the start is under review. That will be Arpin versus Faust. And also ARX 2, Q2 number 4. To find my grids back for that. Alex Keys forgot to take the Joker. We didn't spot that either. So Keys didn't take the Joker. 30-second penalty. All going off. Great racing, some good passing, some brilliant passing. And to be fair, in ARX2 was incredible. Sandell, I think, had a problem, Bucky, because the others didn't even see him in the dust. And from here on in, he's just going backwards. There were bits falling off the car as he came over the start-finish line.
Here, watch. Oh,
here we are. Maybe they're off Arpin's.
Arpin.
Yeah.
I think Sandell just rode over it.
So I'm here with the happiest driver in the paddock, whether he wins or loses, but extra happy now because you won that session in qualifying.
I tell you what, we came here with a completely different setup under this car because we just don't have the budget to go testing. So we came here trying something new. We've been working on it, and this RDO equipment car has been awesome. We have so many guests here, like 150 RDO customers and employees here this weekend. All their equipment maintaining this racetrack. It's hard to beat the Texas sun, so it's so cool to be out here. I'll tell you what, Sandell and Tanner put on a heck of a race in front of me and allowed me to close the gap and get right back in there. So I thought we were going to have it in there going in turn 1. Tanner and I got a little bit touched, so I gave it to him, and we came back and got it.
I'm just hearing that they've given you a 5-second penalty now.
Well, my car's not blue, so this is the Subaru Grand Prix. We look at all the same stuff that happened last year. It's a race control has a mind of their own. If they're going to buy a championship, hey, Like, we don't have the budget to go buy a championship, so we may as well give it to them. Highest bidder wins.
Well, good luck the rest of the day, Steve.
It is what it is.
Okay. But little bit of controversy there. I think 5 seconds is a little bit harsh, but what do you think?
You know, that's not my position. But what I do say is that I feel like that was kind of a racing incident. I think the dramatic wheel over wheel was what brought the attention and eyeballs to it. I don't know.
5 seconds takes
It's
off
pretty heavy.
from the top of the session. Looking at it, what was he on? 230.8 to 235 point. It basically takes him from P1 to P8. So I feel a bit sorry for Steve there. But there we go. On the other end, you can't turn in a car. You know, stewards have made the decision, and you know, he's made his feelings well known. Let's take a look at the standings at the end of Q2. So at the moment, Tanner Faust is the TQ man with 1 session to go, and Andreas Backerud moves up into second place. Chris Atkinson third, Sandell is fourth, Yoni Weeman fifth, Cabot Bigham sixth, Steve Arpin with that 5-second penalty in Q2 for that contact on the run to the first corner drops him to seventh, and he's just ahead of his teammate Pico, who of course got a 5-second penalty for contact in Q1. So there's a lot of work to do for the Lowenbro Racing pair if they want to get up there. Tanner Faust looking hot for the TQ spot.
Wow.
So Faust is right up there with Backerud. You know, there's no way the Subaru... Okay, Arpin's cross. I get why he said what he said, you know.
It had nothing to do with Subaru, though.
Exactly.
That was Volkswagen.
It's a good point. Yeah, it was a VW that he was in contact with. So anyway, he's got the penalty. He's dropped down. They've got some work to do. Faust at the front with Backerud. Subaru won't play dirty. That's not why they've bought these extra cars here. They've bought them here to try and beat Tanner, because obviously every time they beat Tanner, imagine if they could get him so he didn't make it to the final. That's what they want, so that either Atco or Sandell can close that championship gap down at the front. Yeah,
totally. And yeah, if you're going to hire some guns, you're going to hire Backerud and Weeman, because those guys, you put them in anything, and
they're fast.
Yeah, they're really fast.
Well, Backerud got it done in this one. He's second behind Faust, but he's moved up the standings. He's put himself into contention. So got one more qualifying session to come for both ARX2 and ARX. Bottom of your screen down here, 2:25. I don't know how long it is. I know it. Oh, hang on, I can check on my screen. 20 minutes. There you go. It's not very long. So, yeah, don't go anywhere, basically. We'll be back with more very shortly.